An emotional day for the families and friends of 8 men killed by Bruce McArthur. Day 2 of the sentencing hearing today discussed when the murderer should be eligible for parole. We'll have that compelling discussion a little later on City News. First, we begin with the final victim impact statements that were read out inside the courtroom while the most appalling killer in Toronto's history sat and listened. A warning, some may find our story tonight disturbing.
I was actually surprised that I was able to look up and look in his eyes, and he was looking right at me, and because I didn't know whether he'd be like face up or face down, and he looked pretty upset, which, like, of course he's upset, but I guess I was shocked by the emotion in his face.
Richard Kinclaw, a friend of the late Salim Esen, delivered one of 11 victim impact statements today. The wife of the late Abdul Basir Faizi, Karima Faizi, talked about the 2 children the couple had together, noting that they were 6 and 10 years old at the time he disappeared. They talk about the times their father would play with them and their memories of them together. That's all they have left of him now. Jaleel Kahan, brother of the late Majid Kahan, wrote, "I don't know that I can properly describe the pain and suffering that I and my family have gone through over the years, and I believe that the suffering will continue to affect us forever." We also heard from a friend of Krishna Kumar Kanagaratnam. The two spent 3 months together on a boat fleeing Sri Lanka on the MV Sunsea.
My friend, he just came to Canada to save his life.
What was it like seeing Bruce McArthur today?
Even I don't want to see his face. As I'm go friend do my victim report, I don't want to see his face. Because for my mind, I don't want to say he is as a human.
The cries of Umi Marzouk, the wife of Shrush Mahmoudi, could be heard as a prosecutor read out her statement as it took aim at McArthur. "I have been having terrible nightmares every night, and I frequently wake up sweating and crying. Personally, I feel very angry about the killer, and I want the court and the judge to know that I will always have unresolved feelings." Today, we heard the prosecution say that some of the victims' remains have still yet to be found. They also argued that Bruce McArthur has shown little to no remorse, and that is at the center of the discussion over when he should be eligible for parole. We'll have those details for you ahead on City News. Day 2 of the sentencing hearing for serial killer Bruce McArthur included some compelling arguments over when the killer should be eligible for parole. One thing set in stone, he will be getting life in prison. His first-degree murder conviction will come with an automatic 25 years before he's able to apply for parole. Though a recent change to legislation means that the judge could actually tack on another 125 years to McArthur's sentence before he's able to sit before a parole board. Now, another warning, some of the details in our story tonight are disturbing.
It will be an important decision.
Today, the prosecution asked the judge to hand down 2 consecutive terms for a total of 50 years. That would make McArthur 116 years old before he could apply for parole. Prosecutor Craig Harper argued that McArthur has shown little remorse, saying the only reason McArthur pled guilty was because of the detailed work done by investigators. Harper went on to say that death was only the beginning of McArthur's indignities. He memorialized his crimes, taking pictures of them after he had killed them, staging them in a fur coat and a fur hat. Former Crown Prosecutor Daniel Lerner says the challenge for the judge is to find some sort of balance in his ruling.
To some extent, there's also the sort of symbolic aspect of it, a recognition of the heinous nature of the offense compared to just any general murder case, if I can say that. 50
years. The defense says that's heavy-handed. Bruce McArthur would be 116 years old. Your thoughts?
I agree. There's very little practical value. It's mostly a symbolic aspect, I think, in terms of just giving some public recognition of the nature of the crimes. But we also have to balance against the idea that in Canada, at least, we create a system where people are allowed to apply for parole, even if they have very little chance of getting it.
At the end of submissions today, Bruce McArthur was told to stand. He was given his legal right to address the court. He declined, though for the first time we heard him speak more than just a couple words. He told the judge, "No, Your Honor, I've discussed it with my counsel, and I don't want to comment." Bruce McArthur will be sentenced here at the University Courthouse Friday morning at 10 a.m.